Hi friend, welcome back to Little Pages, Big Possibilities. Today we're creating just a couple of things that create hidden writing spaces. So stick around and join me, grab your 6x6s and we'll play. Hi, it's Carrie from Created Me Creative and welcome to my cozy little corner. So today is the last one of this episode. I guess it's not really an episode, but whatever. Anyway, this is the last one for January. I may pick this up again later in, February. I'm not sure yet. But for January, this is it. So we have just a couple of easy projects. This is just the 6x6 folded in half and decorated, but it gives lots of writing space. And this one here is almost identical to the envelope that we made in the very first one, and except that I didn't glue it, and I just decorated it gently so that we could have writing space with that too. You could easily glue this down here and then have it as a tuck spot as well in your journal. So that's definitely an option. So today we'll just work on a couple of those. And yeah, so right now, as you can see, there's some sun coming in, but it's negative, oh my goodness, negative, I want to say it's negative 12 degrees Celsius today. It is bitterly cold and the wind is unreal. And yeah, I'm going north before I go south. So I'm packing up and headed out first thing in the morning tomorrow to go up north for that youth retreat. And then when I come back on Friday, I will be packing up to leave Saturday to head south so I can thaw out because I think it's going to be super cold up there for the 3 days that I'm there. And yeah, but it's going to be good. It's going to be good. And I look forward to the thaw out just as much as I look forward to being involved in this youth retreat. So, while you're watching this video, I am already, well, pretty much done my vacation by this point. I head back from my vacation on the 1st. This is going live on the 31st. So you're watching this and I am already tanned, and I hope I have a tan. So yeah, so all I'm doing is folding this into an envelope. We've already done it. We're just going to make this a writing space. I am going to get rid of the extra bits on this one, and just going to fold this down just like that. Just like that. So, and a corner rounder. And then I'm going to cut these extra pieces off. Yeah. So when I get back from vacation, I'm going to continue working with Botanical Bliss. And I've got some little ideas for that. And then I need to have it ready for mid-February. And so we'll work on a couple of projects with that together. And then I am going to start on the guest book for my son's wedding. And it'll have a bit of a junk journal feel, but I think it'll be more scrapbook-like. Like, I'm not even quite sure. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I'm doing it. I'm just going to round these edges just slightly here. Yeah, so I'm still trying to figure it out. I know I don't want it to be a traditional guest book. And so I was thinking possibly pages where the guests can write, you know, their well wishes, or they could write, you know, suggestions on places to go and to go on vacation, maybe a bucket list they should create, things that they should add to their bucket list as a couple, and that kind of thing. And then they're not limited to just one, signing in one spot. And it'll be kind of fun to look back on, rather than just, you know, a list of names and congratulations, because that's, you know, that's just boring. So I've gotten the two of them to get me pictures that they absolutely love, as a couple, and I'm going to put those in as well. But I haven't quite decided if I'm doing it as a square, or if I'm doing it in a traditional guest book style where it's, I'm gonna round that corner too. I didn't like the way it was sitting. Yeah, like I haven't quite decided. So, and if you've got any wonderful ideas, you want to help me out, I'd love to hear. Share them in the comments. I know that it's going to be predominantly sage green, which is funny because Botanical Bliss is sage green. But I also know for the accent color, it will be like a really soft pinky peach color. So that I do know. So, okay, so I think on the edge of this one, I'm going to put this lace with the little pearls. That is, if you're watching the Botanical Bliss series, this is the ribbon that I put in the spine area of Botanical Bliss. And if you haven't seen that yet, jump over and take a boo. I do have a playlist for it. So, all right, let me move these papers out of the way because they're probably making it difficult for you to see. Get those over there. All right. So I think we will just, I want it over the edge. I can cut that away. I'm just going to cut it between those two pearls. And I'm just going to use my Barely Art glue. Let's run a line. Actually, let me do it this way so I can see where the edge of the paper is. Just like, actually, I'm going to bring it down just a smidge and trim away after it's on around the edge. All right. And then we'll do this side. So I'm just going to cut it here. And we'll go this way. And then if you don't have Velcro dots, it's not necessary that you seal it. You could do, like on the envelopes that we did, I don't like the way that's crossing over like that. So I am going to pull that up, and I'm just going to, where it meets, I'm just going to come straight down so that it does a miter. I'm going to get my fabric scissors. we'll have a mitered corner. There we go. Get rid of that piece. That one didn't cut very well, so let's try that again. And hopefully, yeah, that's a little better. Much better. And a little pearl is popping up, so I'm going to just put a little bit of glue there for it. That's better. Doo-doo. Yeah, so let's see if I can find the envelopes from earlier. So yeah, like this one here, I just used that butterfly to tuck in. And so you could do the same thing if you don't have a Velcro, and then just don't glue the sides and you'll be able to open it right up. Okay, I'm just gonna trim that. And then we'll tip it this way, and I'm gonna come up straight there and across the top. Same on this. And across the top. Can't see it. There. Get rid of those little bits. This piece is coming away, and I don't want it to. So I am going to I get rid of that little piece is what I'm gonna do. All right, let's see if I can get those two little pearls to sit tight together. That's better. All right, I'm gonna let that dry, and then we'll do the Velcro dot. And the next one, we're just going to do a simple tag. This paper here, those flowers are just a really light, soft lilac color. So I think we're gonna do that, because then we've got that little touch of purple, which is our accent color in Botanical Bliss. And I'm just folding it in half. Simple, simple. Give it a nice crease. I have an old library card, and I'm just going to, actually I'm going to use this one. It's got a little bit more of a dive in it. And I'm just going to cut the corners off, make it into a tag shape. And I think that's going to be a gentle enough corner that it's not even going to touch those little purple flowers. It's perfect. Like I said, this one is just so easy, and sometimes we forget about the easy projects. We overcomplicate sometimes. Like, it doesn't have to be complicated. We're using what we have, and we're building up our stash and using it in journals, and it's just, it can be a simple little project. It doesn't have to be crazy complicated. I have this soft lilac ribbon, so I'm going to just cut a chunk of that off and use it as the topper. Put that back over there, and I think I'm going to kind of, it's thick, so I don't want it to, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to fold it in half and then fold it up, and then I'm going to trim. So this one I'm going to trim going that way, and this one I'm going to trim going maybe maybe that way. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to trim this one the other way. going down instead of up. Shoulda. There. I like that better. And I'm just gonna turn it. Get rid of those little bits. Pop them over there. And I'm going to use my tiny attacher. And you just have to remember, because you want it to be able to open, to only attach it on the front piece. We don't want to staple it shut. And I'm going to use 2 because it's a little bit thick, just like that. Super cute. It's got some nice little fraying going on. And I'm going to ink the edges. I should have done it before I put the ribbon on. But that'll just bend out of the way. I'm going to round the corners too. So are you one of those crafters that enjoy just simple, easy, relaxing projects? I like doing these when I'm, when I've lost my mojo, or I'm just not really sure what to make. These little projects are the ones that just, because there's nothing too complicated about it. It's literally a piece of paper folded in half, and but you're making something, and it still allows you to be creative without having to rack your brain around some complicated, and it's just so pretty. Like there's really not much to it, and yet it has so much versatility within the journal. Like, you now have a place to write and a cute little tag to tuck into a pocket. And yeah, like I just want to decorate on the inside. So this one, first one I did so that it would open like a book. This one, because of those purple flowers, I did it so that it would open up the opposite way. And I think I'm going to put some kind of a little embellishment down in this corner. I have these stamps here, and I love the little flowers. Let me see. Maybe this one. It's kind of similar to these. And then we can add the little butterfly too. And I think take those off, and I think we will use, what will we use? Maybe just my archival, it's called potting soil, so it's a nice brown. Let's see if I have a stamp pad. Here we go. Just stick that on there. And we're going to put it on this side. Oops. Hold it down. There we go. And push. Love it. And then we'll just peel that off, and we'll do the little butterfly. And I think I'm going to do it at the top. Just like that. Just like that. And then maybe we can add a little word down here. let's see. We could do, maybe we will do vintage. And I'm just going to tear it. And I might see if I have a little scrap that we can mount it on, because this is pretty tiny. I'll go into this little bowl again and find something to mount this little word on. Is that too much? I don't want it to take up too much space because, but I think that might work. Actually, you know what? I really do like that. So I'm going to ink this edge. It just adds a little color in there too with that little purple flower. And it'll mimic the flower, purple flower in the front. So let's get some glue. I want to thank everybody that's been watching. I know I said in the last one that Mary is working on a journal, gathering supplies for it. Tina made a comment in the last video that I was able to read, not the exact last video, but the last video I was able to read before filming this one. And she was saying that she's got a bunch of projects on the go. And I had to giggle because she had mentioned that she gets excited to start a project, and then before she finishes it, she gets excited to start another project. And I think that's it. I mean, I'm the same way sometimes, that you just, it's that squirrel mentality, and you just, oh, something else shiny, something else fun. And where did the butterfly stamp go? There it is. And yeah, you get sidetracked because, you know, it's the next project. And I absolutely love getting the supplies together and starting a project. But I am joining Tina in the venture of finishing projects this year. So if you're one of those that likes to start projects and then gets excited to start another project before you finish, you're not alone. You're definitely not alone. There's a few of us out there, so maybe together we can help each other out in actually getting some of those projects finished this year. And where did my scissors go? I put them away already. I just wanted to round the corner on this a bit. There we go. Okay, I'm going to grab a piece of Velcro for this. Okay, so I've used a bigger one on this, and I think this time around I'm going to use a smaller one. So I just got these at the dollar store. I think it might have been Dollar Tree. I think. And I'm just going to stick the soft side. I gotta figure out which one is the soft side. Okay, soft side is here. And we're just going to stick it right in the center. I'm just gonna, because my finger has been on that, I'm just gonna add a little dot of glue. Probably didn't need it, but, and I am going to actually see if I can pick that up. What I want to do is actually stick it at the very tip here instead. Now the sun's gone in. It's hiding behind a cloud out there. And I'm just going to push that down let it set for a second before I try and open it. And yeah. Now I'm not going to decorate this side because I honestly think what I'm going to do is actually glue it on two sides and use it as a tuck. And then there we go. It's that easy. That one is done. This one here, I'm going to try and find a little flower to go over top of the staples there. I could have used my regular stapler because I'm going to do that, but I wasn't really, you know what? I wonder if we do this instead. Got these cute little beads. It's like a little pearl. And I have got, bring this over here, some bulb pins. I've got a whack of different colors. So I've got like a dark silver, I've got a bright gold, and then I've got a brass color. And I think I'm going to use the dark one. And I'm going to add a silver leaf as well. And then I am just going to pin it up through this ribbon. Just like that. See how pretty that is? Oh, you probably can't see because of the sun. There it is. The sun came back out. Yeah. And that is it. I know it was short today. I have a few things on my agenda to do around the house before I take off on vacation. So I wanted to keep this relatively simple, but I didn't want to not have a video for everyone while I was gone. So my apologies that it's so short. But sometimes we just need something that's a little easier, something that doesn't take a lot of effort, but still has a great big impact. I think I'm going to switch those two around so that the leaf lays flat and the pearls on top of it. So yeah, so that's it for today, and I will be back, well, Thursday, but for me that's still 2 weeks away, so I will be back in a couple of weeks, and we'll see you guys on Thursday. Thanks for being here. Blessings. Take care, and we'll chat soon. Okay, bye-bye.